88feet.com. We're back after this, Mike and Mike.
Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Morning Glory. My name is Eddie Law. I was listening to some sports radio real quick, talking about how the Super Bowl is going to be, Panthers, Broncos. Not my Cardinals, unfortunately. I'll get it out of the way because I said I would talk about it. This Cardinals depression thing, it's real. People think I'm bullshitting about how, you're not really fucking bummed out just because my personality is not to be moping around all day. But, for real, I've been fucked up since that game was over. But it usually only lasts a day or two, and I'm alright today. I basically talked it out with some of my friends that are Cardinals fans. We basically said, well, fuck it, I guess it happened. So, great season by the Cardinals, but hopefully next year's our year. Luckily, I'm not a bandwagon fan. I've been a fan since I was a little kid, so we'll be alright. And I still believe. So, the biggest news yesterday that broke out and it had everyone freaking out, of course, was Ross Pearson versus Abel Trujillo getting set up as a fight. I'm fucking with you guys. That was overshadowed so fucking badly. That Pearson Trujillo fight was overshadowed by the fact that Verdum gone running. And that's legit. The first thing that popped in my head when I heard that Verdum pulled out of the fight was Verdum gone running in the McGregor accident. If you can imagine that one. So. And people were like, oh, well, fuck you, dude. He's not scared of Stipe. I'm like, no. Nobody's scared of Stipe. Nobody in the heavyweight division is scared of Stipe. But if your foot's busted and your back's starting to jack up, would you want to fight a guy that won his fight by knockout real quick and is probably healthy? Even on 12 days notice? I mean, think of it this way. John Jones didn't want to fight Chael Sonnen. At least John Jones was honest about it. Be like, nah, fuck that. I wasn't training for this guy. I was training for the other one. You know what I mean? At least John Jones was honest about it. Verdum was like, he had to come up with some bullshit at the end, like, I'm hurt, my back hurt, my foot hurts. And after, talking all that shit about Kane making excuses and shit, the way I see it, Verdum's making excuses now. Because as soon as that shit came out, and I started tweeting out, Verdum gone running, fucking every Verdum fan was tweeting back at me saying, man, fuck you, man, he's a champ, blah, blah, blah. That guy was committed to this fight. If he was healthy, he would have fought Stipe. And I'm like, if he was committed to this fight, he'd fight Stipe. Injured or not. He fought the last one injured. He didn't know if Kane was hurt or not. So, that's just the kind of thing that bothers me, is the Verdum, just hypocrisy over and over and over again. Man, I like Verdum, man. I was like, all right, you beat Kane. Cool, you're the champ. Do your thing, man. But, to say if Kane was fighting, I'd still fight. If it was Kane, I would still fight. But now that Kane's out and Stipe's in, I'm not going to fight. Immediately, everyone's like, oh, he's scared. He's not scared of Stipe. You put a healthy Verdum against a healthy Stipe, please tell me how many of you pick Stipe. I like Stipe Miocic a lot. I think he had a lot of potential, but he's just in a division full of monsters. He could win. Everyone's like, oh, pressure this, pressure that, and I get that. Well, the guy with jiu-jitsu is crazy. Kane tried everything to make that fight happen. Exactly. Kane was gonna go in there with an injured back, with a nerve issue in his back that could affect him for life. But that guy's got a wife and kids to think about. Okay, he pulled out of that fight because that shit could affect him for life. All right, Verdum. My foot hurts and my back's tweaking a little bit. I couldn't spar like I wanted to today. I'm just gonna pull out of the fight. Who? Stipe. Yeah, I'm gonna pull out of the fight. Yeah, get me out of that shit. Yep. So that really, and Stipe gets fucked out in all this. He's the one that loses on this one. And they're not gonna make an interim title fight unless it, the only way they make an interim belt to give Stipe a fight at 196 is if they re-sign Overeem and they put that in the contract. Which please believe Overeem would do. We're doing talk mad shit when then wussed out. Exactly. And that's what I thought the whole time. That's what annoyed me about it. Is Verdum went off about Kane making excuses. Excuses. He was hurt. He didn't train correctly for the altitude and all that shit. My foot hurts and my back hurts. I don't want to fight Stipe. Fuck off with that shit. You know what I mean? And the thing I was laughing about too yesterday, because these fighters pull out so much, the ring girls will never get pregnant. Well, hey man, would you want to fucking get stuck for life with a chick who's fucking nutcase? Like Ariane beat the shit out of somebody. I forgot who it was. That bitch crazy. But yeah, dude, I don't know. It's Verdum annoys me in that sense, you know. And then the other day when he was like, I would have slapped McGregor at the 187 press. No, you wouldn't, motherfucker. You would have ran. All right, you wouldn't have done shit. So Verdum, as much as I like Verdum as a fighter, he's annoying as a fucking person, straight up. That's as bad as it gets. He's just annoying. I don't disrespect the guy or even dislike him. He just annoys the fuck out of me with the hypocrisy left and right and all the stupid shit that he really does say. And of course, if you guys know Jesse from Crossbones, he's a big Verdum fan, like a huge Verdum and RDA fan. Basically, anybody at Kings MMA, Jesse's down for, right? And I was trolling him so bad yesterday. I'm like, Verdum pulls out of the fight. He didn't believe me when I said it, because I hit him up on Facebook. I go, Verdum's out of the fight. He's like, shut up, no he's not. And I'm like, yeah, he is. And he's like, oh yeah? And I'm like, yeah. So I sent him like a couple links and shit to Twitters and Guillermo Cruz, the guy that broke the story and all that. And he wouldn't believe it. And then he finally found his own source. And he goes, oh shit. And then I go, yeah man, Verdum gone running. He's a little bitch. He gone running. He heard Stipe's coming for his ass. Like, yeah, Jesse got it pretty bad. He tried to come back at me with Cardinals jokes. You can't hurt Cardinals fans, all right? Especially not after the shit that happened on Sunday. You're not gonna hurt us. That was enough of a whooping itself. You're not gonna hurt my feelings afterwards. So, regardless, it was fucking hilarious. It really was. And I don't know. I mean, what do you do now at 186? Do you bump out Hendricks Thompson to a main event? Because that's not a pay-per-view card. Your main event is Johnny Hendricks and Stephen Thompson, as much as I like Stephen Thompson. Okay, and your co-main becomes Roy Nelson against Rosholt. You know, like, you can't do that. You have to make a new fight. And then some people start throwing around, why don't you cancel the event? I was like, no, you don't cancel the event. You're going to fuck all those fighters that are getting paid? Fuck that. Now, I don't know or think that it's possible to move a pay-per-view card from, to free TV in that manner, because I'm pretty sure you have contracts with pay-per-view providers and all that. The other thing you could do is you do have Barnett, fuck's the other guy's name? Fuck. The annoying evil laugh guy from the fucking post-fight interview with Joe. You can do Barnett Steve Rothwell. Right, thank you. What they were saying is, I heard people saying, move Barnett Rothwell to the main event of 196 and then make it up to Fox later. There you go, Code. There, you guys are racing on that shit. You could do that. Or I'm kind of a fan of the whole Barnett Stipe thing. You kind of fuck Rothwell out of a fight, but Barnett Stipe would be legit. If you re-sign over him real quick and you put him in there for Stipe, you can do an interim title fight. All right, and I mean, you can do a few things. It's all going to be super short notice, which means I won't expect very much out of the fight, unless it's Barnett Rothwell, which I highly doubt. If it's Barnett Stipe, I think you can make something happen. So there's a lot of ways you can do it. I just really hope it's not UFC 196 Hendricks versus Thompson. I'd be like, fuck, I'm not fucking paying for that. Like, I will hit up my local bar and watch that shit. Stipe and Barnett would be a good matchup, yeah. Both guys that can wrestle, both guys that got some power. Stipe's younger, so, you gotta think that maybe he's more durable. But Barnett's a motherfucker, man. That guy's big, he's heavy as shit. And when he gets here's the weird thing about Barnett. You guys tell me if you think it's true, or if you agree with me. I think Barnett's a big guy, but I think he's heavy. It's almost like he gets heavier when he's on top of somebody, right? When he takes you down, or if somehow the fight ends on the ground and he's on top of you, it seems like he gets heavier. Because he's fighting in heavyweight. Those guys are strong ass motherfuckers, and they still don't, they're not able to get out from under. Yeah, his size, yeah, definitely. He does use his size very well. And Especially if you guys saw that in Metamoris, him against Dean Lister. Dean Lister is a mutant. Dean Lister is not a human. Dean Lister is a giant human being. He's just a monster. And he couldn't get out from under Barnett. Barnett is he's a heavy guy. And he couldn't get out from under him. And Dean Lister's a jiu-jitsu like beast. And he ended up, getting tapped out by Barnett and that was the first time Lister tapped in like 13 years or some shit like that. Which blew my mind when I saw it. I was like, get the fuck out of here. I had Lister winning that, no problem. Then Barnett got on top of it, and I'm like, oh shit. Like, yeah, Lister's not gonna take it. And, at the best, it's gonna be a draw, and it wasn't. He tapped him out. I forgot what he used, but it was just like shit. So if they make Barnett Stipe, I won't be mad at all. I'm still not gonna buy the pay-per-view, but I'll definitely be more intrigued by it. So I mean, what do you do with? First of all, let's address Kane. Kane hasn't fought he's fought once in forever, right? And you got to start thinking about whether or not and I'm kind of with that right there. He's 31 years old. He's had a bunch of injuries. He's been inactive as hell. I know. I feel you, man. It's all good. But I said it right when I heard about the injury. I was like, dude, Kane's just got to call it quits, man. Kane's got to retire at this point. He can't stay healthy. He's not, fighting very often. He's always talking about legacy and being the greatest heavyweight and all this shit. It's like, dude, you got to be in the cage to do that, By the way, if you're a fighter that trains at AKA, you start questioning the methods a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, part of a coach's job is to train you and push you, but another part of a coach's job is to rein you in if you're going too much. If you're doing too much, if you're going too hard, and the coach knows that he could tell, it's part of his job to rein you in, to slow you down and be like, hey, we need to relax. We're here. We can chill with the injuries and shit. And he didn't do that. So I wonder if you're a fighter that trains at AKA, if you start questioning Javier Mendez a little bit, and if you start wondering about your career. Mind you, no fighter gets hurt more at AKA besides Kane. I mean, Khabib got hurt, but it was two pretty bad injuries, and so he's been out for a long time because of that. But Kane's had multiple shoulders, multiple, I think it's his second back issue, I think, but it's, I don't know, it's kind of weird. I wonder if any fighters over there can start thinking about leaving. Yeah, so anyway, so Kane, I'm as a fan, I want him to retire, because I like when you become a fan of somebody, it's almost like you care about them, so you kind of want them to like not be fucked up the rest of their lives, like supposedly that nerve issue would be doing. But I don't think he will. I think he's gonna give it one more shot. He's gonna try to heal up and try to come back, and he's gonna try to fight one more time. And if he gets injured again or he loses, I think he'll retire. I think he'll just realize, like, that's it, dude. I beat up my body way too much. And that's what happens to wrestlers, too. Wrestlers usually wrestle from when they're children up until, if they're going to become fighters until, present, That's like 15 years, 20 years of wrestling on a body. That's weight cuts. That's all the weightlifting, all the training, pushing your body way too hard. Hearing Mike Goldberg say embracing the grind 1,000,000 fucking times a fight when you take somebody down. That kind of shit will grind you down real bad, and it will affect your body permanently. What the fuck is this guy doing? There's some dude in front of me in an RV, and he's like driving, like he's like swerving and shit, so I'm gonna stay back a little bit. I think he has a flat tire. Yeah, he does. Okay. Yeah, fucking Kane's got to think about that and see if it's over for him. As far as Verdum goes, he says this is the dumbest part, and I got really annoyed by it when he said, 2-3 months I'll be available to fight, either Kane or Stipe, no problem. And that's when they're going, motherfucker, you're not that kind of, that's not you. You're not allowed to pick your opponents yet, motherfucker. You don't want any, you're defending your belt. You're supposed to defend your belt now. And he wasn't able to. Or he just outright refused to. The difference, to me, this is the way I see it. Verdum pulled the John Jones, but he chalked it up to injury, quote unquote injury. because he doesn't want to be the bad guy like John Jones was. When John Jones said, "No, I'm not fighting Chael Sonnen," Zuffa and the UFC got on his ass. He was in the doghouse, right? But because he's John Jones, you can't really leave him in there for too damn long. You can't really trip until you defend the belt. 100% with that. 100% agree with that. That's why there's a lot of guys who are one-time champs that, they won the belt once, so you're kind of like, yeah, I mean, he was the champion for a fight, and then after that, he got beat. But, which you could actually kind of say about, actually, I think JDS might have defended once, so I might be wrong on that. But anyway, but Verdum is like, what do you do with Verdum now? He says he can fight in 2 or 3 months, fight either Kane or Stipe. And that's a stupid statement. That to me just proves that he pulled the John Jones and just chalked it up to injury. So I'm calling Verdum out on bullshit right there. That's Verdum's bullshit right there. He may or may not be injured, but to say I would fight Kane if he was still fighting, but I'm not gonna fight Stipe is some bullshit. So, and while at the same time recognizing that that's probably smart if you want to, protect yourself from losing your title, right? Is not fight the guy that is more than likely a lot healthier than you, motherfucker. But is more than likely not, is more likely healthy. Or definitely healthier than Verdum if Verdum's claiming injury. So, and mind you, look, Stipe's not a pushover whatsoever. That dude, you have to game plan for Stipe. You can't, you can't just show up on 2 weeks' notice and think you're gonna run him over. So, I understand the move. I'm sure his advisors were the ones, were part of the ones that told him, like, don't fight that dude right now. 2 weeks' notice, you could, this could be the same situation. So, yeah, I mean, John Jones tweeted out yesterday that if the actual belt was on the line, he'd fight Stipe. Yeah, you did go to toe JDS. Yeah, Stipe did in Phoenix. I was there for that fight, and I actually thought Stipe won that fight, to be honest with you. I didn't think JDS. I thought JDS did great. I just think Stipe did more. Just a little more, not a lot, just a little more. Enough to win that fight, but whatever. Speaking of people that talk shit, just to change gears a little bit, TJ Dillashaw's got to shut the fuck up, straight up. TJ's got to shut up. He's coming off as like a little bitter bitch. With the whole, I think I won that fight, with his little pussy ass voice. And I'm not calling him a pussy whatsoever. It takes balls for anybody, even the worst fighter in the UFC, to get in the cage. So I'm not shit talking anybody as far as that goes. But as far as him bitching, yes, fuck him. That shit is irritating. Whatever happened to giving your opponent credit? He backhand credits his guys, right? He's always like, oh, Cruz, it's incredible what he did. What he went through, and he came back from injury and all that shit. But and he won. He's a champ. But I won that fight. I still think I won that fight. And Dwayne Bang talking shit. That motherfucker barely speak English, and he wants to talk shit. And I used to like TJ, and with all the talking and shit, I'm like, dude, no, just shut up. Talk about a guy. I don't think he defended his belt either, did he? No, he defended. Never mind. He did defend. You're right. All right. So, yeah, so TJ's got to shut up. What else we got coming up? This weekend, of course, Anthony Rumble Johnson against Ryan Bader. Go back and watch TJ fights, and then watch Cruz fights and tell me who implemented their game plan. You're right. Cruz moved like Cruz always did before, and it was incredible to watch again, right? Because you forgot what it looked like. But TJ would sit on his punches and swing. He would swing accurately, but Cruz wouldn't be there, so he looked stupid. That's what Cruz does. You might have the best technique in the world, but Cruz moves so well, he'll make you look like you're swinging wildly. Excuse me, like you're swinging like a wild man. So, TJ didn't land. TJ barely landed shit. I was more worried the judges were gonna give it to TJ because when watching the fight live, I scored it for Cruz easily. I thought it should be unanimous, really, but whatever. But I thought the fact, because Cruz dodges punches by that much. Like, he'll be swinging back, and the punch will barely go past his face, and then he'll come back, pop, 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 with a combo. And I was worried the judge is going to see that, when he moves his head a certain way, and they would think that TJ landed. TJ landed a few times, but not very much at all. So coming back talking all that stuff, I'm like, hey man, you know, come on TJ, don't be a sore loser. But he's a big time sore loser. A lot of it that comes from Dwayne, and the fact that TJ's got to eat a whole lot of humble pie now after the whole Team Alpha Male thing. You know, Faber was happy. Jeez, I do not want to see Faber Cruz again. But Cruz is calling him out, and Faber, you know, and not even because I don't want to see the actual fight. All right, I just think Faber's been gifted so many fucking title shots and failed at every single one of them. I'm just like, really, we're doing this again? If they do that, all due respect to Dominic Cruz, that shit better be on free TV. Not even a co-main of a pay-per-view. Not even a co-main of a pay-per-view. That shit better be on like Fox Sports or on Fox or on FS1 or something. That shit is not at all pay-per-view worthy. You know what I mean? It's just not. So, whatever. Oh, a lot of people talking about Conor McGregor looking bigger. Motherfucker got big. Holy shit. It looked like he put on some muscle. You know, lots of steaks every day, I guess is what he does. I'm just kidding, I don't know. Horse, maybe he's on the horse meat too, like Overing. Nah. But he's actually getting tested and shit, so he's coming back clean, supposedly. So, you know, it's not like he's, like, roiding up or anything. He's just eating a lot of meat and bulking up, just lifting weights. And he's going to need that strength, I think, to deal with RDA's wrestling. So, you know, people that are doubting Conor, I'm not doubting Conor. I'm not making my pick yet, but I'm not doubting Conor as far as who's going to win that fight. Not to mention, I picked against Conor every fight so far, and every time I'm wrong. So I'm just like, fuck it, I don't even know anymore. Like, that dude just finds a way, scientific about it. So, that's the other thing. What else did I read yesterday that I fucking thought was dumb? Shit. Oh, last thing, before I go. I saw Rhonda's SNL skits. They were awful. She did pretty good for not, you know, for not being like a comedy person. She did okay. And it's nice to see her back out there and not, you know, and it seems like she's not, you know, it seems like she was affected, but she wasn't really that affected by being knocked out on international television or pay-per-view. But SNL's been awful for years now. It used to be great, now it's awful. So, regardless, she gave Holly Holm props in her starting monologue, and everyone immediately, as soon as it happened, was like posting articles about it. I'm like, chill the fuck out. Like, what do you know? It's stupid. Like, chill out. Okay, great. She gave her props. Awesome. So what? Like, that's what my first thought was. So what? And people were like, oh, you know, Ronda didn't give her props in the fucking post-fight interview. She didn't give her props, and I was like, she just got knocked the fuck out. You know what I mean? In fact, she didn't even do a post-fight interview. She walked out. You know, and then in that interview for ESPN, it was like, oh, she didn't give Holly Holm props. Yeah. So what? Like, I get why some people will be turned off by that, but I'm just like, so the fuck what? You know? Not to mention, especially someone like Ronda, who was led to believe that she was a Mike Tyson of women's MMA. Look, there's self-belief, and that's great and all, but when people start hyping it up and telling you you're something you're not, you'll start believing it. Who's the moron doing Cyborg's Twitter? That is some fucking website or blog that's got hers and Brandon Vera. If you go to Cyborg's and Brandon Vera's, they're both posting the same shit. And that was funny because I when I first noticed it, I saw I saw like a tweet, and I was like, that is way too good English to be Cyborg. I legit said that. I was like, that's not Cyborg. There's no way. So now you're noticing all this shit. You're starting to realize a lot of fighters can't handle running their own social media accounts, right? Now, there's people you can hire for that shit. There's social media managers and all that. It's great. But like Frankie Edgar had his agent Ali fucking run his, and that shit got funny as hell because Ali got caught. And it made Frankie look bad, made him look stupid. But now Cyborg is I think there's some website, because every day she's posting articles now about shit that has nothing to do with her, you know. And Brandon Vera has the same shit tweeting out on his. So I'm assuming they got paid a little bit for it, you know, because that's views. A lot of people follow Cyborg, or I don't even know the number. I'm sure it's in the hundreds of thousands. and the same for Vera. Edgar's got hijacked by a terrorist. Hey, who knows, man? Read that story by what's his name? Fuck, Mike Russell. You go to Mike Russell at Mike Russell MMA, I think is what his handle is, and read his story on Ali, and that shit, yeah. And I gotta be careful saying this, I guess, it's just because I don't want it to come out saying something that I don't mean. It started off like a report, and it seemed like it turned personal for Mike, because Ali was coming after him personally, you know. And so I'm kind of hoping that's not what happened. But if you read a lot of the tweets and if you read the stories, it reads like an essay almost, but or like a story, but or like a book. But Mike Russell's tweets after like the story first came out, it seemed like he took, like it became a personal thing for him, you know, like he was going after Ali for personal reasons. I don't know for sure. I don't talk to Mike very much. I talk to Mike once in a while, and that's not very much. Yeah, seemed a little personal. So I wonder how much of that stuff was truth, like 100% truth. And I'm not calling Mike a liar or anything like that, and how much of it was, embellished a little bit to make Ali look bad. Who knows? Obviously, nobody in what we would call mainstream MMA media, the MMA fightings, the junkies, everybody else, nobody touched that story. Nobody wanted to touch that story. Bloody Elbow didn't touch the story. Nobody did. He made a bigger deal than it really was. Yeah, he did. Mike definitely did. But, Ali was talking mad shit to him and everything. So I understand. But at some point, you got to let it go, you know? So... And nobody, like I said, none of the big outlets, I guess you would call them, touched it. They didn't even touch it. They didn't even mention it. Someone called out John Morgan from MMA Junkie about for not talking about it, and Morgan's like, I don't have sources on that. I can't talk about that. Much respect for that, by the way. You don't have sources. You don't say shit about it. Exactly. That's how you do it. You know, you let somebody else take that story. Nobody at Fighting that I saw did it. If it's true, okay, but if not, he's got a family. Exactly. And that's the other thing that you have to measure as a journalist, is are you ready to take on that possible responsibility for putting someone out there? Because Ali kept saying, like, dude, we can't let the story come out because I have a sister and a mother in another country, and their lives could be in danger. Not to mention his life could be in danger here, you know? So it's yeah, it's really, really, that's why it's hard to touch that story. Mike didn't give a shit, and that's why I felt like it turned personal at the end of it. Yeah, so, who knows what's going to happen with that shit. Mike's a manager now. He's a former journalist. I guess. Yeah, he's former, but he's a manager now. Supposedly that's why he went after Ali, because Ali was fucking the fighters. And he was, by the way, Ali was fucking the fighters at World Series of Fighting. How do you play matchmaker and manager? How do you do that? So, that was fucked up. And if you would have taken the story that far, that'd have been fine. But, if the story was Ali Abdelaziz is a manager and the matchmaker for World Series of Fighting, that's fucked up. We need to make that stop and whatever. If he stopped there, golden. That's a story. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. Ali came after him, and Mike started digging more, and this guy's a terrorist, and he hangs out with the Muslims of America and this other shit. How does World Series of Fighting allow it? You know what? People think that because they're like the third biggest promotion, maybe fourth, probably fourth, biggest promotion, that they're run, that people know how to run it, and fuck no they don't. Fuck no they don't. Ray Sefo doesn't know what he's doing. Ray Sefo's kind of guessing just like everybody else is, The ones that have it down the best is UFC. Bellator's a shit show by itself. You see that, It just depends who you have at the helm. And Ray Sefo's, as much as I like Ray, they're not the most, competent's the wrong word. They're not the most experienced as far as running something. And that's exactly what it is, Mike. There's UFC and there's everyone else. And it's exactly what it is. It's who's been in the game longer, who's been doing it longer, who's picked up pieces that have done it longer. I mean, the guys that have a World Series of Fire Force, a UFC, you know, Dana White, the Fertitta brothers who fucking bankroll everything, Joe Silva, Sean Shelby, Dave Scholler, you know, that whole team is almost like a dream team of fighting promotion teams. And the UFC fucks up too, you know, all the time, but just not as much and as royally as World Series of Fighting does, and as Bellator does. So, and I think you know who doesn't get enough credit is One Championship. They don't get enough credit at all for running a pretty good organization. So I would actually call them the second biggest promotion, just because you know they're not here in, you know, big in America yet. You know, they're just because they're not big in America yet. I just think they don't get enough credit. I think they're better. I think they're better and bigger than Bellator. And a lot of people disagree with me on that. And I'm like, okay, look at what Bellator was doing, and then look at what One Championship was doing. How many former UFC how many old UFC guys do you see over there fighting? None. You know, I mean, Brandon Vera, he's not old. He's still, you know, they needed heavyweights over there, so whatever. But they're not, you know, putting on Hoist Gracie against Ken Shamrock. They're not putting on Kimbo Slice against Dada 5000. They didn't put on Ortiz Bonner. You know, they didn't do any of that stuff. So it's, I don't know. And then right before I go out, because I got to go right now, actually. But Ortiz, the rumor is Ortiz against Fedor. Tito Ortiz against Fedor Emelianenko. I do not want to see it. Because I'm not staying up till 3 in the fucking morning. Or I'm not getting up at 3 in the fucking... Well, I have to go to before work anyway. But I'm not, you know, going to wake up earlier to watch that shit. I'll watch it on YouTube after. But Tito Ortiz against Fedor Emelianenko. Oh, Randall. God damn it, man. Fucking, I know you do, but I don't want to see it, but it's a freak show fight. It's a freak show fight. Let's be honest about that. Because which one of you think Tito's going to win? Nobody. All right? Fucking Fedor will maul him. But what does Fedor, and that's exactly what I was going to get to, Mike. What does Fedor get out of that? Nothing. What does Tito get out of that? An ass whooping. And Tito's going to do the same shit. I'm in the best shape ever. This guy's in the best shape ever in every single one of his fights. He should be like universe champion with how many times he's been in the best shape ever. You know? So, mind you, I don't disrespect Tito at all. I like Tito as far as his coaching. If you guys saw him on when he was coaching Tough, he was fucking awesome. That guy would be an awesome fucking coach. He's just an asshole. Oh, please believe if he gets knocked out by Fedor, or when he gets knocked out by Fedor, he retires for sure. He goes, fuck it, I'm done. Fuck it, best shape my ass, I'm out. I'm gonna go best shape my ass home. Fuck it. Yeah. So, all right, fellas. Gonna do a Breaking the Law with Eddie Law. Wait, no, hold up. It's Tuesday. Gonna find out about something, then I'll see if I can do Breaking the Law. Randall, I haven't been interested in a Tito or Fedor fight in years, but this fight is kind of cool to me. Yeah, I mean, it's almost like a nostalgia fight. You want to see what I'm do? Yeah, gonna see if I can do that show, Mike. Last couple of weeks, the guys have been busy. Let's say that much. So it's hard to get. It's starting to get really hard to get everyone together to do the show. I will tweet out as soon as I find out we're gonna do it. If we don't, I'll do Breaking the Law with Eddie Law. Otherwise, hopefully it'll be that show. Because I really enjoy doing that. But, you know, who knows? At this point, everyone's lives change real quick. You have a good one too, Randall. All right, and you guys, Mike, thanks for tuning in. Everybody else, Daniela, everyone else that was on here, appreciate you guys tuning in. Code, thanks for coming on, man. You guys all have a wonderful day, and, you know, go get it. All right? One day closer to death, make it count. Oh, by the way, I do Spartan Super in Temecula, California this weekend on Saturday. If you guys are, if you're in California, you're around, if you want to register, let me know. It's going to be kind of expensive, but still, because it's this weekend. But I will. Someone suggested I get a GoPro and GoPro that shit, and I did. I got a GoPro. I'm gonna test it out. Tomorrow, today and tomorrow. Make sure it works right, and make sure I got enough of a memory card and battery so I can last the whole race. But I'm gonna GoPro this bitch, and you guys can see whether I do well or I eat complete shit. So, all right, you guys have a good one, and I'll catch you guys later tonight. See ya.